Before lecture chance, I think I'm on the page of the gym.
Perfect Dharma is rarely meditated, even 100,000 million kalpas. Happy to see and listen to remember and accept. I vow to taste the truth of the Tathagata's words.
I always love that phrase. I vow to taste the truth of the Tathagata's words. It's so visceral, body, taste, yum, yum. I vow. I vow to taste the truth of this birth, death, ephemeral life. I vow to taste joy. I vow to taste grief. I vow to enter and be entered by each moment and whatever sounds, smells, tastes, touch. What is it? Don't ask me. Sorry, I can't I used to be really serious. I got this whole Zen thing and then it surprised me. Right at the center. You can laugh. That's a great relief. To me anyway, probably to lots of people around me. Yeah, and it's enormously serious, good heavens. There is suffering. There is suffering. So how any of us find or have found our way here to the cushion? For some of us to taking formal vows this afternoon, we all take them together. There's going to be 6 people, 7 people. Yael did it at Tassajara a month or so ago. Some really deep heartfelt yearning that we each know in our hearts. It comes with different words, different journeys for sure. Wanting to be here, wanting to be a good person, wanting to be kind. Wanting to not feel so separate. Wanting to taste the truth of this life, this birth and this death. That surely is going to happen to everybody else, but not me. And I decided a long time ago that the self, which we all have one, and mostly believe it, even though we have glimpses, tastes that it's ephemeral, that everything is empty and no inherent self-existence, that the self, the small self really cannot imagine its own death. I just think it's counterintuitive to what the self does, which is to help us survive, just to help me. Doesn't mean you can't. The self doesn't have no love or goodness or, but to sit down in the midst. Suzuki Roshi calls, I was thinking his language of small mind and big mind. I think there's something very beautiful and helpful in that. Big mind is the mind that is beyond mind, that is awake, aware. Very nature is love and interconnection, beingness. And small mind is me. And you're not going to get over it. When I first started practicing, I think we all thought you could go over the me, the small me. It's like, it's just so bothersome. I would really like to get over this small me. Just get to the big stuff. And little by little, you get humble. Sometimes we're equanimous and sometimes we're not. But there's more compassion and humor and kindness and sadness. Grief. Then the full spectrum. So I didn't even get to my lecture yet. So there was down here. Watching the clock. Let's get warmed up. No. So vow. I love the word vow. And some people, I know for some people it triggers something religious or aversion, but I have come to just vow to me rhymes with bow. It is like you just bow. You just bow each moment. Your heart is bowing to everything, the world as it is. And I love that Shohaku Okumura he expressed it as living in vow. What is it to live in vow? Because I think that's what we're really talking about here. And so I wanted to start with Katagiri Roshi. Peaceful Life. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. But even if you know it, there's no end to knowing it because it's so simple. It's like people are going to come up today and say these impossible vows. I'm not going to do this and I'm going to do this. And what in the world do you think you're doing? And there's a leap that happens here. And it is a way of living. So here's Katagiri Roshi. Being told that it is impossible, one believes in despair, is that so? Being told that it is possible, one believes in excitement, that's right. But whichever is chosen, it does not fit one's heart neatly. Being asked what is unfitting, I do not know what it is, but my heart knows somehow. Our heart knows. This is a body practice. Settled on the earth, heart beating. One heart, alive body. The heart knows somehow. I feel an irresistible desire to know. And what a mystery a human is. As to this mystery, clarifying, here's the roadmap, clarifying, knowing how to live, how to talk with people, demonstrating and teaching, this is the Buddha. Buddha was a human being. And you know, Buddha's beyond Buddhism, but Buddha was a human being just like you and me. Walking, talking, teaching, living. From my human eyes, I feel it's really impossible to become a Buddha, but this I, regarding what the Buddha does, vows to practice. That's what this I does, over and over. Vows to practice, to aspire, to be resolute, to tell myself, yes, I will. You'll see there's places in the ceremony today. Just practice right here and now. Just practice right here and now and achieve continuity endlessly forever. That's all. Okay, now you got it. That's it. This is living in vow, and herein is one's peaceful life found. Living our lives with full engagement, with full hearts, each moment. This is Dogen's continuous practice. His fast goal, continuous practice. Here's his words. On the great road of Buddha, on the great road of Buddha ancestors, there is always unsurpassable practice, continuous and sustained. It forms the circle of the way, and it is never cut off. Between aspiration, practice, enlightenment, and nirvana, there is not a moment's gap. Continuous practice is the circle of the way. This being so, continuous practice is unstained and not forced by you or others. The power of this continuous practice confirms you as well as others. It means your practice affects the entire earth. Your practice affects the entire earth, the entire sky in 10 directions. Although not noticed by others or by you, it is so. The path is always here under your feet. You can't lose it. It's always been here. There's no gap between where you think you're going and where you are. Where's the path? It must be here somewhere. It must be right here in the bush. No, but I mean, we do this, right? Fall off the path. I want to get back on the path. We can wake up on the path, but it's right here. Anything else is just our minds scrambling around. Just come back. Body, breath, here. You have everything you need. And we don't have to force it. Not forced by you or others means others, i.e., nobody else can force it in you either. Would you just get over yourself? Remembering recently with a kind of gratitude that I didn't feel at the time, my father used to tell me to go to my room and get some strength. I was pretty tired. In a rage, but I think it's pretty cool. He told me to do that. I think it happened. I also had a lot of anger to get over for a lot of years, but you know what an interesting thing he said. I think that's how he lived. Our wholehearted intention, sincere heart, our wholehearted intention, sincere heart is awakened activity. And it comes out of our karma. How my father expressed it, how your parents expressed it. how politicians are expressing it, how you're talking to yourself right now. It really is in this moment. Trying to help ourselves and each other be good. Something free. I mean, what are we talking about? But there is some goodness at the kernel, at the heart of all of it. But as we more and more give ourselves to this moment, wake up, body, breath, goodness. Said that a Buddha is one who sees goodness. We're opening our Buddha eyes. That's continuous practice. Seeing good, seeing the Buddha in each person. And the amazing thing is your practice affects the entire earth, the entire sky in 10 directions. Although not noticed by you, maybe you didn't notice that you got up and realized that you were affecting the entire earth and sky and universe, past, present, and future this morning when you got up. But that actually is a life of vowing. Yes, I will. I vow to live my life with and for all beings. Because that's just the truth of it. We don't journey towards enlightenment or an idea of a perfect life or an improved you or me or world, but we enter and we enter. And we bow. We entrust our lives to living deeply and to letting enlightenment unfold and blossom in each moment and in our hearts. Enormously compassionate practice. Circle of the way. Know the Enso? We have an Enso, Dharma Heart Zen. It's a beautiful Enso that Kaz Tanahashi has given us permission to use. Suzuki Roshi, one of my favorite, I think it's in Zen Mind Beginner's Mind, is he talks about the swinging gate of the in-breath and the out-breath. What we call I is just a swinging door which moves when we inhale and when we exhale. When we inhale, the air comes into the inner world. When we exhale, the air goes out to the outer world. The inner world is limitless, and the outer world is also limitless. It's a swinging gate, but we could also, it's one great big full circle breath. Maybe you can feel that and practice with that some today. Breathing out, follow it like a big Enso circle, all the way to the end. But there's no end. There's an inhale. And Kaz's Ensos are so beautiful, they're so full of color. What are the colors of your breath and your inhale and your exhale? As you breathe in and out, bird song. September day. And your cares and your worries. And your love. As if you didn't love the whole world, you wouldn't be here on this cushion. I mean, I don't know what you tell yourself you're doing here. You don't know what you're doing here. I still don't quite know what I'm doing here, but I know this is it. This is where I want to be. A life of vowing is just yes. There's no gap. Suzuki Roshi says, each one of us is in the midst of myriads of worlds. We are in the center of the world, always, moment after moment. So we are completely dependent and independent. This is Zazen body. This is alive. This is vowing body. And it's happening for you and for me and for all practitioners and ancestors across time and space. There's a wonderful place in the ceremony. You begin by, you've all heard me say this, but I'm going to say it, so I'm going to say it again. Maybe you haven't heard it. Maybe you forgot it. That's why I keep repeating myself. You start with the verse of a vowel, a vowel, the renunciation of all my ancient twisted karma. I now fully avow, born through body, speech, and mind. I used to think that sounds pretty, I don't know, dualistic, sin-based. But I spent a couple of years saying that verse each morning and each evening, and came to experience it as it's a confession in the deepest, most beautiful way of I'm a human being. You're a human being. It was such and continues to be such a relief. I don't have to try to force myself to be something different. This is not a self-improvement project. This is settling down right in the center of it with full and open heart and awakeness. Oh, human, with and for all beings. That's the birthplace of compassion. Where else are you going to learn compassion? And then you call in all the Buddhas and the ancestors and the Bodhisattvas because you know, or I know, and I think we know, this great humility of, boy, do I need a lot of help. And it's right here. It's the sun and the moon and the stars. And if you happen to believe in Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which I do, I really believe they come and fill the room. I really believe that, who knows what's true, but it's like everybody, all the great beings get so happy that somebody's taking their vows. They all go, whoa, that's where you ought to spend your afternoon. And they all just, and then everybody gets happy. We get happy, they get happy, the whole world gets happy. It's because people are vowing, I want to be good. I don't know how to do it, but I want to live here with everybody. And I want to help take care of this earth and this heart, this tender heart. The person next to me and those other people across the room or in another state or another, who we think are they who, yeah, I don't know how to do this, but I don't want to leave anything for anybody out. That's my vow. The practice of each one of us, however humble and immature it may be, is something powerful and indispensable for all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all beings across time and space. Each moment illumines the absolute value of the present moment and each thing. And it's a circle, there's no gap. It's continuous practice. Already here. That's all we're stepping into, I remember. It's already here, continuous. Suzuki Roshi says, the Buddhist way is in one word, compassion. This means to encourage people when they are feeling positive and also to help them get rid of their suffering. That is true love. It is not just to give something or to receive something or to observe precepts that we practice our way. We practice our way with things as they naturally occur. Going with people, suffering with people, helping them to relieve their suffering, and encouraging them to go on and on. circle of the way. Any act, no matter small, large, affects self and others, wakes up the whole world. This is living the precepts. The precepts are called the blood vein of the Buddhas. Today, people will, they've sewed a rakusu. And it will be, it becomes a living vestment, a living piece of clothing, a living piece of your skin in the ceremony. It becomes alive. It becomes alive because it's what you already are. This is just a formal acknowledgement. And it's beautiful that when you sew the rakusu, it's one whole piece of cloth, which is just the truth of everything that is, and each being comes in whole, and then life kind of cuts us up, and that's kind of what you do when you sew the rakusu, is it's all these pieces, and then you cut them all. They get all cut up in this pattern of I said the rice fields, if that's the Buddha looked down and saw a pattern of the rice fields. But then you sew them together with a vow. Each stitch, I take refuge in Buddha. Namuke Butsu. And my favorite language of it is I plunge into Buddha, being a visceral person. That always, it's like I love just the idea of the needle plunging into the ocean of being and into Buddha's heart and into my own true deepest heart. And then you get a Kechimiyaku, which is a lineage document. And the lineage document has a red line that starts with Shakyamuni Buddha and all the Buddhas before Buddha and goes through all the ancestors and then through Eihei Dogen and then down through and down and down and then through Suzuki Roshi and then down and down and then my name's there and the Ordinese names are there and then it goes back up to Buddha. So it's a full circle. It's like what happens in our bodies, the heart pumps and just going round and round. So we acknowledge what we already are, which is Buddhas, waking up to Buddha's way, which is our blood vein, is the same blood vein of all the wise and enlightened and kind people across time and space. They're not separate. It's us. Who do you think is going to do this? I mean, really? Don't think there's some wiser, more compassionate person somewhere who's going to do this better than you. I'm sorry. What we have is perfect. All your ancient twisted karma is perfect. All the stuff about yourself that drives you crazy, I mean, assuming that happens, it's perfect. It's like, this is the soil, this is the blood, this is the waters we've been given in this particular lifetime and lifetimes before, I'm absolutely sure why we show up here. It's life, knowing how to walk with people, knowing how to talk with people, teaching through just small acts of generosity and kindness and confusion. And then what do you do next? We recognize that we're all in this together. We're never separate. We're all waking up together, helping and saving and being helped and saved by each person and by everything. Completely and fully, moment after moment, we are entering Buddha's body and life and being Buddha. What a Buddha sees is each person is Buddha. That does not mean to delude yourself. It's not like I don't see Sue. Sue, why would I want to miss Sue? You know, it's like, she's completely who she is. And there's a Buddha here. And everybody in the room and on screen and everywhere, in the grocery store line. Awesome. And maybe the hardest of all is to see ourselves as Buddha. And I think that's kind of the courage in taking vows. When people say, can't do it, not perfect enough, I'm not perfect enough. I say, yes, I will. It's a great act of faith and a great act of courage. And in taking the precepts, we step into this responsibility and this joy. Because it really is joy. The refuge. Take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Refuge is to fly home to. Literally means to fly home to. Can you hear the sheep out there? It's great. We're like in, I don't know if you guys can hear it online. It's clearly not just this room. There's a lot of beings here. Refuge literally means to fly home to. That's what living in vow is, moment after moment. I fly home, just this ground, just this place. Expressions of our intention and our commitment to a way of life and action, and it's always a work in progress. It's a path, it's a hope, it's an endless effort, it's a circle of the way. There's great faith in this, and it's not faith in something out there or some othering. Just a life of great faith and love. Buddha, I take refuge in Buddha. Buddha's awakened life and path. I take refuge in the Buddha in me and in you, that is love. Tender mind and open heart. Yes, I will. Dharma, I take refuge in Dharma. The teachings and teaching of each moment and thing that is teaching love and compassion and to live in accord with this. To know that our view is limited and that we are always waking up and going beyond, that we are beyond limited views. Us and the sheep. And Sangha, I take refuge in Sangha. Acknowledging we have always been a part of the interconnected network of all beings, and that we cannot be separated from one another. It'd be nice if we could just cut a few of the things out. Then it would be this perfect little, no, what we're gonna do. We would be cutting some part of ourselves out. That we want to embrace fabric of connection fully and be embraced by it. And living that with and for all beings. I'm gonna read Katagiri's Peaceful Life again. I didn't get to meet Katagiri Roshi. I think I just met him once. And what struck me about him in that moment is he felt so ordinary. He wasn't trying to be somebody special. I think that's why I like this verse. Being told that it is impossible, one believes in despair. Is that so? Being told that it is possible, one believes in excitement. Right. Whichever is chosen, it does not fit one's heart neatly. Being asked what is unfitting, I don't know what it is. But my heart knows. My heart knows somehow. I feel an irresistible desire to know. To wake up. What a mystery being human is. As to this mystery, clarifying, knowing how to live, knowing how to talk with people, demonstrating and teaching, this is the Buddha. Human, feet on the earth. Awake, aware, compassion, don't know. Want it, what is it? Mystery. Fall down, get up. Endlessly, forever. From my human eyes, I feel it's really impossible to become Buddha, but it's I regarding what the Buddha does. Vows to practice, to aspire, to be resolute, and tells myself, yes, I will. Just practice right here and now and achieve continuity endlessly forever. This is living in vow, and herein is one's peaceful life found. There is no gap. It's the circle of the way. It's as present and easy as breathing in and breathing out. The beating of our heart. You can't force it. And we bring our full and deep intention to taste the truth of the Tathagata's words. So we have an amazing summer fall day. Plunge in. I plunge alive into the deep heart of goodness. Yes, I will. We have forms and ceremonies and rituals to hold us. Yes, I will. And each action, each thought does permeate and ripple across and through the whole universe in the same way that motorcycle sound just rippled across space and time from over there to right here. That's what's happening, but on a level we can't even begin to imagine. So our lives matter. Your sitting matters. Standing up and sitting down matters. Bowing matters. You might want to, in the ceremony this afternoon, 6 people will be saying out loud, yes, I will. And if you feel inclined at all, let them say the out loud part. But you can in your own heart. Say, yes, I will. And then stay with it. What is that? What a mystery this is. What is this? And that's what we'll go on doing and being and helping each other with forever. I went entirely off script and we're landing exactly at the right moment. Thank you, Buddha. So we're going to do the end of lecture chant. I'll stand up and do 3 bows. You can stand up and do 3 bows too, and then we'll help us know what to do next.